Guys, thank you for tuning in to this week's Pinball Effects tournament. A lot to talk about here, a lot to discuss, because now for next week we are moving on to the Marvel tables. And so I put up a vote, as you guys know, and at the time of recording this video, we were at a standstill. So it was 50% Marvel, 50% Star Wars tables. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go with Marvel tables because the Marvel tables are kind of unique. Whereas the Star Wars tables, they're unique, but they're all set in the same universe. So I figured, you know what? Let's go with the Marvel. Even though the Marvel tables are somewhat set in the same Marvel universe, I feel like they have more. They're more unique in that sense. So this week we're going to be playing Marvel's World War Hulk, which I think will be a fun table. Everyone knows the Hulk, right? So we'll see how that goes. And just think about it now. We've started, with Pinball M tables with the One Ball Challenge. I think the first tournament we did for the One Ball Challenge was on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We did all the Pinball M tables. Then we moved on to Williams. We did all the Williams tables, including the new ones that released, Taxi, Whodunit, and Pinbot. And we just finished now with Wrath of the Elder Gods, all the Zen originals. So thank you guys if you've stuck with me, or if you've joined in some and joined in others. It doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to show you like how far we've come in playing all these tables and doing these tournaments. So they've been really fun, and I'm looking forward to doing the Marvel tables next. Those should be interesting. So I guess the best way to start talking about Wrath of the Elder Gods table is to kind of discuss and summarize H.P. Lovecraft, which this table is based off. It's a Lovecraftian table, and it refers to a lot of the things that he wrote about. So H.P. Lovecraft was an American thinker and writer who was born in 1890. He wrote a lot of short stories, novellas, essays, but he never published a full-length novel, which is very interesting because a lot of times you have authors who publish a lot of novels and essays, and but H.P. Lovecraft was just known for his novellas and stories and essays. So one of the things that H.P. Lovecraft pioneered is what they call cosmic horror. And cosmic horror in science fiction is humanity as a concept is small and insignificant in the vast and indifferent universe. So basically, we as humans are just a speck of dust in this huge, ever-expanding universe that we know really nothing about. Yes, we know some things, right? Through science, we know that there are these planets. We know that there's stars, the sun. We know how things around our solar system kind of operate. But there are a lot of things that we don't know. Things that are mysterious, right? Like black holes, aliens, those kind of things. So along with cosmic horror, H.P. Lovecraft also delved into this concept of forbidden knowledge, which is basically like truths and objective truth that are not meant to be discovered by humans. And if humans were to uncover these deep and dark truths, the consequences can be madness, going insane, or even doom, right? And then along with that forbidden knowledge, you have this concept of madness and dreams. Something like human minds cannot fathom or understand the incomprehensible. So a lot of his works included these topics and motifs, which I've never read a Lovecraftian novel or essay, but I've heard his name before, and I remember from previous tournaments that I discussed his name and some of his works, but I've never gone really deep into his novels. And so something about his novels that are interesting is that he really had a preference for atmosphere over plot, which some may like and some may dislike. So in his writings, he really kind of set up the atmosphere and put a lot of his effort into setting up that atmosphere for the readers over really the plot and the story. In his writings, you'll also find he made a lot of inferences and suggestions, believing that true horror is left to the imagination and the unseen. And I really like that concept because, when you watch a horror movie or a spooky movie, I think really the greatest kind of horror is the kind of things we think about in our head, things that we imagine could happen, right? And our brains build the best stories, right? Our brains have a habit of building these fantastical worlds and these things that we can't even explain. And so things left unseen and imagined is the things that he's really known for, which I really like, because I like movies that kind of it's like, I guess, a psychological horror instead of an actual like slasher film, right? That's how you want to kind of think about it. It's a lot of psychological thinking and atmosphere than it is actually what you're told and what you can see and observe, right? Because that's really the difference, right, in what H.P. Lovecraft writes about and what separates his work from others is that you have these unexplainable worlds that are just so offset from reality. He wrote a lot about alien gods and creatures like Cthulhu. I know Cthulhu from my time playing Smite, the MOBA. He's a playable god in that game. Comes from the great old ones. He also wrote about ancient civilizations, elder things, deep ones, forbidden tomes like the Necronomicon. I even think the Necronomicon was an item that you could buy in Smite 2. So here's where my Smite knowledge is coming into play. He wrote books on Gothic horror, such as The Rats in the Walls, cosmic horror epics such as The Call of Cthulhu, At the Mountains of Madness. He wrote Dream Tales, a book called The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. So these are just some titles of his works. And, the big picture that you should take from all this is that this idea that the universe is vast, old, and indifferent to humanity. And if we humans dare to glimpse or even grasp any of this truth, we will descend into madness, perhaps even vanish, or something far, far worse. And so I thought to myself, insanity as a concept is that, a lot of times in history, we have these, we hear stories about people who are insane. And years later, we found out that these insane people or these insane ideas were not actually insane, but were just insane at the time. But as more truth is uncovered, you kind of discover that, these insane people were actually sane, but the kind of culture that they lived in thought otherwise, right? So it kind of makes you think. And so you can see a lot of Lovecraftian work in pop culture. For example, The Thing, the movie, which is also a table on Pinball M, is a lot of references to his work called At the Mountains of Madness, which deals with isolation and alien horror. So The Thing is like a really good example of a Lovecraftian reference in pop culture. You have horror, you have something from outer space, like an alien, wreaking havoc on humanity, humans. And when you watch The Thing, you get exactly that. You don't even know what this thing is. You can't even explain it. And that's what a Lovecraftian kind of horror would have you thinking, right? So I like that. You have The Mist from 2007. Even the Evil Dead series makes a lot of references to the Necronomicon. There was even a HBO series released in 2020 called Lovecraft Country. There was a movie called The Color Out of Space in 2019, which was a direct adaptation of a Lovecraftian work. Stephen King also cites that Lovecraft is one of his biggest influences. So if you're a fan of Stephen King or Stephen King's works, you probably would also be a fan of H.P. Lovecraft's works. Even in games, Lovecraft has shown up and influenced culture. You have a tabletop horror RPG that is still played today called The Call of Cthulhu, released in 1981. You have a gothic nightmare game called Bloodborne, released in 2015. You have a GameCube game from 2002 called Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Also Quake from 1996, which I've played a couple times. This FPS arena shooter involves a lot of monsters and runes inspired from Lovecraft's mythos. There's even a song by Metallica called The Call of Cthulhu, which I listened to yesterday and I thought it was really cool. There's no lyrics, it's just sound, but the song itself kind of feels like an epic story. So if you're a Metallica fan, you probably know about that song, but if you haven't heard about it, give it a listen, called The Call of Cthulhu. So that's basically what we have here with Wrath of the Elder Gods, a table that's based and inspired from H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft, I think, passed away at a relatively young age, probably old for his time, but he passed away, I think, at 42 or 43 from stomach cancer. But within his lifetime, he's created a lot of works that inspired a lot of things today. So just goes to show you how important, early writers were into kind of shaping American culture and really culture around the world, right? So just know that H.P. Lovecraft, a lot of his writings centered around cosmic horror, forbidden knowledge, forbidden truths, madness, dreams. He referenced a lot of alien gods and creatures. He was heavy on atmosphere, ancient civilizations. Things and horrors are more horrific when they're unseen, when they're imagined. So that's kind of the picture I want you to have when you think about a Lovecraftian novel or tale, or even in this case, pinball table. This is actually one of my favorite tables because it's on Pinball M, the director's cut as well. And it just does a nice job of presentation. You have this Cthulhu monster, his tentacles you can see in the background. And you can hear his voice. It's kind of like obstructed. And you can even build your insanity. You can build your madness, which is very Lovecraftian in a great way to reference his work in a pinball game. As you saw, I made a video where I got to the wizard mode, but I haven't actually completed it. That's something for another day, but I think it's cool that there is this wizard mode that involves a lot of phases. It's very difficult. So, speaking about the table itself, I think it's a decent table, very atmospheric. Like it's got a decent skill shot. Narration from Cthulhu, I think, is the narrator, and he sounds really weird. And then you have the reporter. It looks cool, but just a really kind of decent table. Let's go over and talk about the leaderboard here for the tournament. So it was a close tournament. We had around, was it 9 people? And so our first place goes to Gapvik with 160 million points. Congratulations, Gapvik, on that impressive score. So Gapvik has been really on fire these past few weeks. I think Gapvik has been in first for, I think, the last 2 or 3 tournaments. So congratulations to Gapvik for showcasing his skills here. And in second place, we have King Balchi 100 with 88 million. So King Balchi always coming in near Gapvik in second place. I think he also came in second last time. So congratulations to King Balchi there. And underneath him, we have UTD 4000 in third place with 84 million. So UTD was only 4 million short behind Balchi. Very close scores. I came in fourth with 44 million. My best attempt was my first when I recorded the video because I got 20 million for that extra ball. I used all my other attempts, but I could never get close. So I got lucky there. Underneath me, we have Carpy Sun with 39 million. Also very close to my score, you know, not far off. And Urko in sixth place with 34 million points. So look at that, 34, 39. Underneath him, we have Bad Jack Daniels in seventh place with 29 million points. And underneath him, we have Jabba in 8th place. Welcome back, Jabba. Jabba, I think Jabba is hosting a tournament on Pinball M. I have to check on that, but I know last time he did it on Duke Nukem. So congratulations and glad to see Jabba back in 8th place. And then in 9th place, we have Johnny Seb. Welcome back, Johnny Seb, with 1 million points. So I was able to shout out everyone, and hope you all had fun. Hope you all enjoyed this tournament, and I hope you all enjoyed the Zen Originals. Today, as you guys might know, Zakaria also released a huge update and a DLC. So we'll have to make a tournament, or someone else can, on the Zakaria tables and see how that goes. But today I just wanted to stick to Pinball Effects, and let's create our tournament on Marvels. So here we are, moving to the Marvels. World War Hulk, here we come. So it's going to be a public tournament. It's going to be a 1-ball challenge, unlimited players, unlimited attempts, 6 days as usual. And here we go. So I gotta put my filters on. So all apply. And here it is. Here is the ID. And I'll give a go right now. Okay. Ooh. Okay, launch the ball. Any skill shot? Four more hits to open gate. Double combo. Okay. Let's go. Hulk smash. Oh, there's the gate. Okay. I think that's where you start the main modes. Oh. That was really close. Mega combo. I wonder if this table has a wizard mode. I would assume it does. Okay, here it is. Which one are we choosing? Fantastic Four, The Thing. Okay, hit the flashing lanes. Okay. Oh, look at this. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Oh! Got a kickback, which is good. Okay, I see the flashing lane. Jackpot, 300,000. Okay, it's moved. That orange light has moved. Okay, 2 times multiplier. Okay, let's try to hit the left orbit. There we go. Okay, now it's moved again. It's in the middle. There we go. Got the jackpot. No! Okay, I got something. Head of Lady Liberty. Let's go. Well, guys, thank you for watching me play this week's tournament on World War Hulk. I hope you enjoy it. I'll have a lot to talk about next time because, you know, I'll probably preface it with Hulk. So we're going to learn about Marvel characters. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy this table. Till next time, catch you guys later. Take care.